Hi folks, Shane here at Isle of Wight Bushcraft. Welcome back. Well, this time you join me on an overnighter, my first solo overnighter in Isle of Wight Bushcraft Base Camp. So let's get cracking. Well, here we are folks, down at Isle of Wight Bushcraft Base Camp, what we refer to as the BBC, and I'm just going to unclip my pack and make camp. So I'm going to put the tarp up first and then put my hammer. It shouldn't take too long. The thing I like about it down here, down our base camp, is it's completely private. It's a private forest. Nobody comes in here, and the owner lives nearby. And we can leave stuff set up here and we know that it's not going to be stolen or trashed, so it's very handy. Yeah, anyway, let's put this tarp up. So something just a little bit different this time. What I'm doing is I've just put this pole up here and just suspended this cross pole on a little eye poker there. I'm going to tie my tarp on this cross member here between these two trees, and then do the same the other side. I've got 4 trees which are pretty evenly spaced. The reason I want to do that is so that I can have the tarp in the middle of these 2 trees suspended from the cross member and one the other side. And then what I'm going to do is just put my hammock on one side, one of these trees. That way I've got the hammock suspended on, you know, not in the middle of the tarp, but to one side. Gives me more work room. And I just want to try this out as well, so that when my wife comes with me, we can put the 2 hammocks under one 4x4 tarp. So it should work out all right. Anyway, let's put this tarp up. Well, that's camp set. And this is why I like the utility line. I can put all my stuff up out the way and I know it's not going to be lost. You can see I've got the tarp suspended between those 2 poles at either end, which means I can have my hammock, you can probably see that, on one side of the tarp, which gives me a nice bit of work room on this side. But as I said earlier, the reason I want to do this is to so that under this 4x4 I can get both my wife and I under the one tarp with ample room at a future date. And it's a real lovely spot in here in Isle of Wight Bushcraft Base Camp. Great little place. And as I said earlier, we got it all to ourselves without fear of interference. And there's our little wood store and our fire area. We can have a permanent fire pit here. So I've just made up a few log benches so that when we got company we can sit round the fire, as we already have done actually. A couple of weeks ago we had 8 of us in here. So here we are, Isle of Wight Bushcraft Base Camp. Our own private residential spot, you might say, tucked nicely away deep within a certain forest on the Isle of Wight. Obviously I'm not going to mention it because we may get intruders, although this is a private forest, and as I said earlier, the chap that owns it does actually live very nearby. So I don't think anybody would venture in here. And the only reason we worry about it is because we can leave stuff here and we just don't want people coming in and trashing it. Sad to say, that's the world we live in. But hey ho. All sorted out and ready for a good night in the forest. I think what I'll do now is just going to kick back, have a little break, and then carry on with my my little whittling project, my little carving project. And I'll show you what that is in a moment. So this is the little project that I'm working on at the moment. It's not a massive project, but it's just something that I wanted to make for myself. And that's a cookser, and I've got this lovely piece of birch which I harvested from a nearby wood a couple of days ago, and I've hollowed out the bowl and then I'm just sort of taking most of the wood off the outside of the cookser off and the handle, and then I'm going to start fine carving it with my knife and my spoon knife. So yeah, nice bit of birch this as well. A bit more off there. There's a knot there, so what I'm aiming to do is to come kind of round like that, then up like that, and then round and probably finish there. And then just you can see it's looking quite rough at the moment, but it's just, you know, bearing in mind that this was a log similar to that, but now we're getting to that, so we're getting there. Taking a little bit more out of this bowl. And a spoon knife. With a spoon knife you have to keep just nibbling away at it. But you do get there. It takes a bit of time, but you do get there, and it's no hurry. So there we are. I'm going to carry on with this, and maybe next time out I would have finished it and I'll show you what it looks like. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with this for a while. As you can see, if you look down the centre of my tarp, or the ridge of my tarp, you'll see that the hammock is this side, which means we've got room for another hammock to hang from this tree and this side. So it worked out really well. There we are. You can see that I've got the ridge suspended between these trees. So there's a hammock there. And when my wife comes next time, I'll put her hammock between her tree and this tree here. Ah, this is beautiful. Just having a little lay down in my hammock. Just a little rest and it's so peaceful. It's lovely in here. Oh, yeah. Oh. And this is what hammocking in the woods is not all about. There are other aspects, but it's certainly one of the highlights. So peaceful. Quite deep into the forest here, tucked out the way in this this little nook of the forest, and just starting to approach the evening. It's absolutely lovely. Oh, that was really nice to have a little kick back in the hammock for a little bit. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some firewood chopped and think about getting a fire going for my evening meal. So we'll head on down to the fire pit. I'm very fortunate when I was just clearing a bit of this kind of enclosure, I suppose it is really, but when I was clearing this I had a lot of dead trees which I've chopped up with a chainsaw. I haven't done this with my bucksaw, I'll be here forever and a day. But now we've got a nice little store of firewood, so I'll take a couple of these logs and split them with me with my forester's axe. Well, even though we could light a fire with a match, really, if we wanted to, but I always think it's good to practice different methods and techniques. So this time, what I'm going to be using is a flint and steel, and a piece of charger. I'll see if I can get the flint and steel to, see if I can get the charger to take a spark, and then I'll put it in this tinder bundle, and then we can see if we can get a fire going like that, which is almost completely natural. One of my goals is to light a fire completely naturally using a piece of flint, a piece of charger, and a piece of iron peritis. I'm working on it. Anyway, let's get this fire going. There's a piece of flint and our steel and our piece of charger. So let's see how we get on. this piece of chaga in my bundle and blow to flame. So for dinner tonight, I've got my favourite, minted lamb stew. Just going to put it in the billy can and suspend it over the fire using the pot crane, and enjoy this lovely minted lamb stew. This lamb stew is really is so nice. It's my favourite thing at the moment. Just can't get enough of it. I think what I'm going to do, it's my wife's recipe, it's absolutely delicious. I think what I'm going to do is do a video just explaining the recipe and how to make it, so that you guys can just see how good it is. That's for the future though. Anyway, let's get this on the pot crane and heat it up. About the right height, don't it with too low, otherwise it'll burn. That should be just about right. Oh, that is just delicious. Seriously. Got little dumplings in there as well. Right, they're not made of beef suet, but they're made of vegetarian suet, and they're lovely. Anyway, I'm going to kick back and enjoy this, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Time for some coffee now. Beautiful. Nice cup of coffee. Well, a different day today. It's a bit of rain and yeah, complete contrast to yesterday, but that's part of the fun, I always think. And the pitter-patter of light rain on the tarp is a lovely sound. But it's time for me to pack up now and head on home. Well, there we are, guys, all packed up and ready to go. I'm going to hit the trail now and head on back home, but thanks for joining me again, guys, and all being well, I'll see you on the next video. Take care and bye for now.